Craig here from YourTech. Today's video, I'm going to be attempting not only to debloat Windows, but see if debloating Windows actually gives us any measurable performance gains. Now, I can already hear you screaming in the comments, just go Linux, f*** Windows. And I get it. No one's happy with Windows at the minute. It is a bloated mess of an operating system that is constantly cramming stuff down your throat that you're not interested in. And I wish I could go Linux. But from what I'm reading online and from what I can tell, video editing is not brilliant on Linux. And I've, to be honest, not long learned how to edit, and I'm still not that good at it, and I don't have the time to learn a new process when it comes to editing over on Linux. So I outright can't move to Linux. And I think a lot of people are in that same boat. They don't want to use Windows because it's awful, and Microsoft on the whole is awful. But they can't switch because they need the functionality of Windows because, especially from a business point of view, everything seems to use it. So I don't have much experience with debloating an operating system. I think the last custom type operating system I installed was Windows 9, the unofficial custom Windows 8 that the community in general sorted out and made much better than Windows 8. So this is going to be an interesting little process for me. There are many methods out there to debloat Windows, but the one that I'm going to be using today is the Chris Titus Debloat tool. This seems to be the most recommended tool to debloat Windows, but feel free to use whichever debloat tool you want if you're going to be going down the same route as me. Let's get to debloating and let's see if it actually makes a difference. So we are going to use the Chris Titus tool now. Open a PowerShell as administrator. Copy and paste this command. I will put it in the description so you can copy and paste it yourself if you want to follow along. This will open a graphical user interface for you to interact with. And as you can see from the off, you have a list of a ridiculous amount of programs. And if you want to, you can click as many of these as you want, click install, and it will install every single program, which is awesome. This has quite a lot of functionality in it, which I will get into a little bit more later on, but for now I'm just going to show you how to debloat Windows. So you want to go up to tweaks at the top, click on that, click standard. You have all these options at the top that you can choose from. Personally, I would stick with standard because this is the known usable tweaks that won't break your operating system. When you click standard, you get the restore point create option ticked automatically. This means that if something does go wrong and if your operating system does break for some reason, you have the option of a restore point to be able to go back and sort it out. The only thing that I'm going to change is I am going to uncheck disk cleanup. This is something that I can do for myself afterwards, and it means it won't take very long to actually run. You will see you have a lot of options here, and you can mess around with this however you want. Just be careful. It could break your operating system if you don't know what you're doing. So we click standard, click run tweaks, and you will see in the background it's creating a restore point, and then it will run through all of the tweaks and install them, or change them I should say, and that's it, done. And the last thing I do to make sure that you're getting the best experience when debloating is click on Edge and OneDrive and uninstall these applications. If you have the option for Copilot as well, uninstall that, but I believe because I've already done it, I don't get the option of it now. But you can definitely uninstall Copilot as well. Click uninstall, and then you have a nice bloat-free Windows experience that's a little bit more private than it was before. Before we get to whether or not this has actually affected gaming performance, which I need to make sure is clear, this isn't designed to give you more gaming performance. But in my head, if we're debloating Windows and we're getting rid of a load of services that we do not need running in the background, I would hope that means we have more resources to push more frames in games. Whether or not that's the case, we shall find out, but the baseline readings for our benchmarks are as follows. Cyberpunk 2077 Ultra preset, no upscaling, no ray tracing, 120 frame average and 98.5 frames 1% low. Moving on to CS2 on very high without any upscaling. We're at 289.3 on the average FPS and a 1% low of 139.9. Moving on to Hogwarts Legacy Ultra, no upscaling, no ray tracing, 128 on the average and 90.1 on the 1% lows. I've also included 3D Mark Speedway, so we've got a synthetic benchmark to test against, and the score for that is 8,986. Let's see if there's any change after debloating Windows. So, I've reran the benchmarks and I have a very interesting result, which I really didn't expect. It made fuck all difference, like at all. Every single result is like margin of error. Some went down by a frame or two, some went up by a frame or two. And I am really, really surprised by this. I thought with so many background processes and services and things like that not working, all the telemetry stuff that's in Windows not working, I thought that would have freed up some resources to get a little bit more gaming performance. However, I do have a theory as to why it's not really impacted gaming performance and why it's probably not going to impact gaming performance for you. Games on the whole are still fairly single-threaded, so freeing up some of that CPU core count, some of them threads, it's not really going to matter because when you're gaming, you're not using them all anyway. However, it did have a minimal effect on my idle RAM usage. Before I debloated, I was at around 10 gigabytes of RAM usage, and after the debloating at idle, I'm on 6.8 gigabytes of RAM usage. So I've saved a couple of gigs of RAM, so that's not too bad. So the Chris Titus Tool may not be the best tool to use if you want to gain gaming performance, although I am still quite sure that on lower end hardware, this could have an effect. But there's so much more to this tool than what I've showed you. Yes, you get to get rid of all of the telemetry data that Windows is capturing, which is awesome. You can uninstall programs, which is cool. You can batch install programs and update them, which is all amazing. It's a cool little tool, but there's so much more. After running these tweaks, you have a PC that is much more privacy driven. Because not only does it get rid of the telemetry data mining from Microsoft, it also disables location tracking, activity history, and tracking logs that Windows 11 collects. It can completely remove Copilot, OneDrive, and Edge from your system, which for me is a massive boom because I hate all three of them programs. And you can remove all of the Xbox gaming components. Now, I know that the Xbox Game Pass can be an amazing deal for PC gamers. Personally, I can't stand the application that much that I would rather just buy my games than use the Xbox Games Pass and just not play any Xbox exclusives. And there's even more to this tool. If for some reason you can't get the ultimate power profile to work on your Windows system, this has a one-click fix for it. You can optimize your Windows update settings, and you can decide how to configure your own Windows features, like .NET Framework, Hyper-V, Legacy Media, and more. None of them are my favorite part of this tool. My favorite part of this tool is its amazing one-click fixes. Now, as a man that has had to type or copy and paste these commands more time than my own name's been mentioned, this is a massive thing for me, and I'm really happy to see this in a tool. One-click fixes for network reset, Windows update reset, DISM, and SFC commands, all with the click of a button. I love that feature of the Chris Titus tool. And we're still not done. On top of all of this, and there is more that I'm not going to get into today, you can also create custom Windows 11 ISOs with it. You can create your own custom Windows 11 ISOs. So straight from the off, you can have a debloated Windows that has got some pre-installed programs that you want on there. That's awesome. I know you can do this with other tools, and I know there's a way of doing it in Rufus and things like that, but the simplicity of doing it on Chris Titus's tool is really impressive. I'm a massive fan of this tool. I will link Chris Titus's YouTube down below because what an amazing guy to be able to create this tool. And even though it did not give us any gaming performance, I would still recommend this to absolutely everyone that is even slightly bothered by any of the Windows features or Windows bloat that are on your system. It is such a cool little tool, massive fan of it. What do you guys think? Would you guys use this tool? Does Windows 11 bloatware bother you? Are you a Linux fanboy and would you rather just install Linux and not have to deal with the Windows situation? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I'll see you on the next one. Bye!